Well, Happy New Year from Spain, and I just want to go over a few things. First thing, people keep contacting me relating to Peter lately. Peter van der Ever, or whatever. I'm not sure his pronunciation. A couple of things I want to say about Peter. I comment on his videos because he has some interesting viewpoints. But one thing I will say about Peter, he's posted everything I've actually said, even when it actually contradicts what he says. A lot of people, there's a lot of infighting starting up against him, and I would say, just don't waste your time on it. His anti-Wike stuff, don't waste your time. He made this like Wike or whatever. There is no, there's no need to get drawn into people arguing about other vloggers, for example. It's just a waste of time. It's just not important. And it's the same with some say, "Oh, I'll have a look online at Peter stuff." What's online with Peter stuff is written by other people that obviously have an issue with Peter. So anything they write becomes irrelevant because it's not based on an unbiased opinion. It's often just manipulated nonsense. I've been through the same crap with somebody. My internet troll has been following me around for years, and nothing he writes is actually true. But you could go online and look. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Yes, you'll find stolen Facebook pictures. You'll find stolen pictures of my family, stolen pictures of my business, etc. And then if you go through it, you'll see business doesn't exist. Business does exist. Business is a crooked business. Business is involved in prostitution. Business is, well, it's just all lies. The business is there. The bricks and mortar are there. The apartments are there. People can actually go rent an apartment and you'll see the call centre in the same compound. It's just nonsense. And this is why I say to you, this is the start of a new year. Wash all that rubbish to one side and just walk away from it. I'm not talking about the stuff people write about me. I don't care. I'm saying don't get dragged into these infighting between expats. A lot of it is expats have too much time on their hands. Go and do something constructive, even if it's needlecraft, for goodness sake. The reality here is this is a prime example of crab mentality within the expat community, dragging each other down. Whether it's Peter writing about Wike, dislikes Wike, blah blah blah. You don't see me making videos about specific people. I made one about my internet troll, but that's purely because the guy followed me around for 3 years. I do not go, I dislike Wike because of this. I don't care. Wike's entitled to his opinions. Peter's entitled to his opinions. If we start turning around and say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you end up with a very sterile and boring environment. It doesn't matter yet, you don't have to agree with everybody. And one thing the internet does have is delete, ban and block. You can get rid of all the stuff, and New Year, push all the negativity to one side. If you don't want to see it, don't unsubscribe from the channels and just don't follow it anymore. Because what I find myself, and I know this from experience, when people start writing negative stuff, they start going, right, I want to see what he writes tomorrow, blah blah blah. You've generated an audience. You're starting to follow it. You're starting to go, oh, that makes me angry. But the first thing you've got is it's impacting your life. It may not impact the person who's writing it, because they're doing it anyway. They're venting. But at the same time, because you keep following it, they can actually see, oh, there's people following and watching my stuff. There's people reading my blog posts. There's people doing. You generating traffic for them, and that's the only. Why I keep saying, like trolls, whatever. It's all about reaction. That's it. It's reaction. If people don't take an interest, they throw the dummy out of the pram. Now, I'm not saying Peter's like that, because I don't know Peter. I only know my internet troll from the nonsense he writes. And when it's so fabricated and fake, you know there's something seriously wrong. what I find on Peter's stuff is generally just his viewpoint. It's ranting, which he's entitled to his viewpoint, but personal attacks on people I don't agree with. Doesn't matter if I like or hate a person. I'm not for targeting a specific person just because they won't let me post on their video or whatever. I just don't watch their videos anymore. As simple as that. That's what the internet's about. Where that differed was forums. Forums was a bit different for me because back 2007 onwards, you find that a lot of it was very clicky, but also a lot of it revolved around money in various forms. YouTube stuff isn't set up the same way. You're not selling your services as such. You'll see I've got an asset surveying channel, but that's actually for asset surveying. It's actually asset surveyor. So as such, that's a very specific niche. It's very focused on asset surveying. I'm not selling that here on this channel. I just give information. I'm not even selling information. I'm not even telling you must follow what I'm saying. I'm telling you, listen to it. You agree or disagree, that's up to you. Form your own opinion. The main thing for me is to give people more information. It's up to them to actually sit there and go, I like it, dislike it, agree with it. And that's the bit I'm after. People to think. Because when they don't think, that's where problems happen in the Philippines. Because people arrive and go, bang, I was told this, I could live like a king, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what are you talking about? That's nonsense. You've read that off the internet, haven't you? See, that's the sort of thing people do. I mean, what was his name? John from Australia. When he first moved to the Philippines, I picked him up from the airport, and he described Cebu as post-apocalyptic, post-war, because it just looks like it, in many ways, because it's a developing nation. It's not all beautiful built. It's not Singapore. Let's put it that way. It has a long way to go, but at the same time, where does he live? He still lives in Cebu. He's been there 10 years. No, sorry, that's actually wrong. It's about 4 years. It seems longer. I haven't seen him for a few years, but the point being is he's living there. But he had to go through the transition of realizing the stuff he had on the internet was not the reality. And that's the key element here. What you see online, and this is what this channel's about, is just turn around and saying, look at it, analyze it, get multiple sources, learn to think, is this right or wrong? And if you're not sure, write it down and research a bit more, because when you move to a new country, you can have as much information as possible. And this channel is not all about I have all the answers for everything. It's more to do with, this is my viewpoint, this is from my experience, this is from my knowledge. It is not the be end and end all, because what I'm doing is projecting what I know, and at the end of the day you can go to somebody else and they'll have some similarities and some stuff that will not work. For example, me deal with immigration, no headaches whatsoever, but you will speak to other people that have had absolute nightmares. It's all to do with relationships and other things. I haven't done a video on relationships relating to politicians and stuff, have I? I don't know if I should though. Anyway, Happy New Year, and like I said, wash out all the bad stuff from last year, move forward, and don't get dragged into the negative stuff. It's just not worth chasing around. If somebody says I hate the Philippines or whatever, then let them go and hate it on their own. So the thing is, even me, I do not hate my internet troll as such. I just see him as mentally ill. There is something seriously wrong with the guy. As such, I just don't focus on him. And this is the thing, you just push it to one side. because at the end of the day, that's their life. You know, if for me, I'm having such a impact on that guy's life that he writes thousands and thousands of web pages about me, and I'm like, you know, never met the guy, don't know him. Oh, you must have done something wrong. That's what he relies on. People say that sort of stuff. And like I said, I went through his whole list and contacted all these people, and you start to get the big picture. And you're going, this is all made up. Because I know my stuff's made up, but when you start going, hang on a minute, what happened here? Oh yeah, there's this. And then you start seeing some of the expats were infighting. I'll do a video on that stuff. If anybody's interested, and watch this video to the last 10 minutes, after 10 minutes, and say, Matt, do something on how all this trolling stuff started, I'll do a whole video on it. That's fair enough, because then I know if anybody's watched the video to the end as well. But Happy New Year. Don't let any negative stuff in your life affect you. With a new year, this is how I look at it. I push all the stuff to the past. This is why Christmas is quite a funny period for me, because for Christmas it's a build up. I love Christmas in the Philippines because it's uncomplicated. Here in Spain, it's planning for next year. It's getting this year tidied up, moving into next year, making sure I've got enough. I'll tell you what, it may seem a bit weird to some other people, but it's a bit like being a farmer. Making sure I've got enough food stored for the next 6 months, but in my version it's money, so that I've projected forward for next year. So Christmas can be quite a hard time on me at some point. But when I hit New Year's Eve, it all starts to fade away, because I've now stepped into a new year. All that stuff from last year becomes irrelevant. It's like, that's last year, don't worry about it. We're now into 2016. As such, everything starts again from here. Do I look at the money in the bank? The answer is no, because the work will be kicking off in February. But I've also got a few projects I want to do in the next couple of weeks, because if they do come off, I don't need to go to Spain anymore, go to the UK at all. That's why I've been busy the last few days, because I've been working on some stuff on the server. Because if they pay off, I won't be needing to go anywhere. Alright, thanks for watching, and Happy New Year again.